Hey guys, what's up? It is Ripe again, back with more entitled People. If you enjoy these story compilations, please don't forget to tell me in the comments, and without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. Entitled Coworker wants me to cover his shift while I am still in the hospital. This happened about 5 months ago, but this is the first time we are recalling this story ever since I even made an account for Reddit, so I feel like I should go ahead and share it. Back in March, I was in the hospital for a planned birth. I was gestational diabetic and this hospital's labor and delivery ward fills up fast, so it was the perfect storm for a planned induction a week before my due date, which was suggested since I had my blood sugar well under control just through diet. About a day after I was admitted, I gave birth to my amazing son. As giving birth usually goes, I was required to stay a couple days to recover a bit, and my son had to stay so they could check him over and verify that he had no issues. As you can all figure out, I had to be on leave from work for a couple months. Now for a small break in the story to introduce the entitled coworker, who we will just call EC. EC is one of the more frustrating employees because he loves to dispute his schedule. Every week it is up and is never really because he's doing anything that day. He just wants it his way, does whatever he wants and works as slowly as possible. If he does not get his way, he will either be in a cranky mood all day or he will throw tantrums with his wife backing him. For example, he one time assumed another coworker in my department got recognition as Ambassador of the Month because she was black and called it racism. Then, when he wanted a level 2 position, but that same other coworker took it because she trained for it first, he seriously called the union for them to open a level 2 position for him, and he either cannot or does not know how to do any of the level 1 stuff, let alone the position he was so desperate to get. And while it doesn't exactly matter or should not matter for any explanation behind the rest of the story, he is about 70 plus years old and does not have any children. While I was in a postpartum ward at the hospital the day after having my son, EC decided it was a good time to dispute his schedule, specifically for the day after this all happened. My boss tells him that she cannot find anyone to cover his shift, so he had to come in for his shift as scheduled. He tries throwing out names to see if they might be able to take it. Suddenly, he says, "What about my name? Can't she come in?" Neither my coworker nor my boss could believe what they just heard. Note, my boss is really good at keeping everyone informed, especially on big things like this. And as frustrating as EC can be, we are still pretty nice to him. My coworker then steps in to remind him that I had literally just had this baby, so I would not be able to. You would think he would be understanding, right? Wrong. He then decides to say, "Well, she can just bring the baby." As you can figure from there, it took them a while to explain that I was absolutely, positively not able to come in to take his shift. I'm not sure if he ended up coming in or just calling off with no cover, but I heard about it right after I came back to work, finally recovered enough. You know guys, in my opinion, a little bit of understanding and empathy for others goes a long way and would make much easier for everyone. And the next one is titled, Entitled Coworker Accused Me of Being Racist. I have no idea if this goes here, so tell me if it doesn't and I will remove it. Bit of background info, I am 20 years old and I am Mexican. I work at a warehouse for a year now and 2 months ago we started to get new workers to help us out. I do not care what kind of people we get as long as they can help to work. The color of skin of people, their gender and religion is something I don't care about. If we cool, we cool. One worker, let's call him Max, is a man in his 40s and is black. Let me say that first. As a veteran, me and a few of my coworkers that are veterans help them to get into rhythm and know what to do at our warehouse. We assist them when we can or if they come to us and ask a question. Simple, right? I wish. Now Max has been very positive and upbeat, talking that we should be positive, etc. People got along well with him, including our managers, we have 2, and everything was fine. In our jobs we pick out items and have them ready to be delivered. Never once did we talk except for one time where he called me out saying I was disrespectful to him. This happened when I was passing out pick lists to people. I did not say anything to him, I did not insult him or give him a mean look. I just gave him the list and that's it. Max blew up on me saying I am disrespectful with no evidence. I asked him, I just passed you the list. What am I doing being disrespectful? Max replied, you and your group of friends are always ignoring me and not doing anything to respect me. What? We never talked to you because we never got assigned to help him and he never came up to us for help. Me and my friend, we will call her Lisa, who is also Mexican, never talked to him. And by the way, just to quickly chime in, that's the first time I've heard of a Mexican woman named Lisa. Anyway, Max thought he was entitled that everyone should respect him and be happy around him despite some of us going through personal issues. Max also thought that everyone around him, despite your age and position on the job, we need to greet him, and if we don't, he berates us. He did that with one of my managers who's the coolest man ever. You do not act that way to your manager. I shrugged it off and continued my work because I thought it was weird he said that. Fast forward to yesterday and I found out a third coworker, Mo, who is a male and Mexican. Max called him a gay because he overheard him telling a story how he was groped by a man. He did not bother to ask if he was okay, he just said he was gay. Also, Mo is straight and has a girlfriend and Lisa is bi and friends with her. That pissed us off. All three of us went to HR and reported him. We also found out that he talked bad about me in front of two workers saying, if I was a woman, I would slap those two. And he meant me and Lisa. Again, we have never talked to him at all. We later found out he was telling other people that me and Lisa are racist to black people. I'm so glad everyone ignored his argument because we got along with everyone just fine. We don't care about your skin color, only if you are a good person and we can be friends. Judge on personality and attitude, not race, is what I learned when I was young. The same day we reported Max, half an hour before the workday was over, I saw Max behind me. I was on the computer scanning tickets to see if we can find a specific item in another location. I asked Max, do you need help? He said no. I looked back again and saw he actually had stickers that need to be searched. Oh, it's fine, I can help you look for them, it's okay, I said. Oh, now you want to help me? Max sneered. Excuse me? You know why I've been giving you attitude? It's because you and your friends give me attitude because I'm black. I tried telling people that you are racist to black people, but no one believes me. Now here I'm saying it out loud and everyone goes quiet. Max shouts. We never talked to you. The entire time working there he talked to other people. And for some reason he tells me I am racist because I don't talk. Max said this in front of my two managers, two of my co-workers that are new to the warehouse, and we are all stunned. I just took my papers, turned around and did my work somewhere else. Max shoved the new person and got on the computer, and I just walked away to dump the envelopes to be ready for delivery. One of my managers came to me and took me into the office and tell HR again what happened. I told the AM I am using my PTO hours and taking the day off today, and he said it was fine and understood. So yeah, that is my entitled coworker thinking he is the best and accuses me of racism. And another note to add, we have other black people in my warehouse and I am cool with them. We talk like normal people and joke around. One manager is from the Philippines, more than half the people are Latinos, the person in charge of the two warehouses is also black. And indeed, no matter the color of your skin, you can still be a douche like that guy Max. Furthermore, if you have watched until here, please feel free to post some star emojis in the comments and also like the video to show your support. Each like and every comment is very much appreciated and helps me out tremendously when it comes to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much in advance. A very clingy coworker who expected me to give her driving lessons. 2 years ago I worked at Kroger for a few months. This girl asked for my SC, phone number, Facebook and Instagram. Note, I never considered her a friend, just a coworker. Anyway, she started sending me Snapchats. If I did not answer within 30 seconds, she would send it to me again through Facebook Messenger or text. Thankfully, she stopped doing that in a few days, then she started asking me to hang out, especially after work. I just could not because I had exams coming up whenever she asked. I was honest and explained why I cannot, and she still expected me to hang out and pay for her stuff like food. Then she asked me that she needed help getting her learner's permit. I thought she meant she needed a ride, so I said if I'm free I could do that. She actually meant she needed someone to read her the damn driver's manual and help her study. No. Like I said, I had my own stuff to study for since I am in college, so I just sent her a few links. I never actually helped her study for it. Somehow she thought me saying yes to giving her a ride to DMV meant she's going to teach me how to drive. I told her the car I drive is not under my name, it is my mom's car technically. Even if I pay for maintenance and stuff, I cannot. Even if it is my car, I cannot afford to let someone, especially someone who needs help getting a permit, drive it. Somehow she did not take that as a no and kept asking when I can give her driving lessons. She wanted me to give her free lessons because she was tired of paying for Uber to get to work. She did not even offer gas money. It got to the point I had to cuss her out twice to get her off my back. By the way guys, I'm curious, how close are you to your coworkers? I gotta say, I mean in general, I'm not really a person that gets too close to people too quickly, and especially not my coworkers. If needed, of course I can work in a team, but I prefer to work alone and to be as efficient as possible. Let me know how it is for you. My coworker demands that I give her free rides everywhere. So I just want to start this by saying I just got back from the longest cruise of my life. Essentially, I worked on a boat for 6+ months. I had completely forgotten about this coworker up until I saw her at the morning roll call when I returned to my regular job and remembered just how awful she is. We will call her Sam, not her real name by the way, from now on. Let's rewind to when I first started working in the clinic. I'm getting introduced to my workplace and the area around me when my supervisor decides it is a great idea to leave me in Sam's care. While I am being orientated to the workplace, the town, our duties, etc., Sam eventually finds out that I have a car. Sam does not have a car, and her only 2 brain cells work together to make that connection. And that is when I started giving Sam rides to and from work. I did not mind it at first, she was very polite and nice and I could relate to her on a certain level. That did not last for long, she got more and more demanding about getting rides anywhere and everywhere and would constantly criticize the way I drove. I sometimes ended up driving her 45 minutes out of my way so she could get something from place X in the next town over. If I needed or wanted to go somewhere else, she would suggest coming with me so I could take her to the place she wanted to go to. Most times I would not get home until around 8 PM just because I got caught up driving her places. She never ever offered to pay gas for these little road trips either. My car is good on gas, but when I started paying $30 a week just for her trips alone, that was too much for my wallet. She was a nightmare to have in the passenger side too. She would always complain about something. Either how I was driving, how she was butting heads with one of our supervisors, how she liked X guy but was going to ghost him so she could F guy Y, or how people in clinic don't like her because they are jealous. Newsflash, they are not. Everyone is aware of just how awful of a person she was. She would talk and talk and talk, and whenever I would try to interject or add to the conversation, she would either talk over me or shut it down with her catchphrase, "Yeah, but the thing is..." Everything just had to be about her and her problems. It got to the point that if I was just sitting in my car, either idling and waiting for the traffic to clear up, or just texting my fiance about this and that, Sam would find my car in the parking lot, open up my door and get into the passenger seat and start listing off places she needed or wanted to go. The first time she did this left me so shocked that I just drove her home instead of telling her to F off. She would also yell and berate me for staying behind at work too late because she had places to go or wanted to go home. I got sick of it real fast. One day I was just absolutely exhausted and lying in my bed when Sam texts and details the place she wants me to go this time. F it, I tell her to just come to my room. By the way, she lives 2 doors down from me and I give her my keys so she could drive to the grocery store. It was down the street anyways and she had a license, so it should not have been a problem. Sam comes knocking on my door over an hour later with that same stupid airhead look on her face she always has, this time with a hint of pity. I find out that this woman ran literally the first stop sign on the way to the store and got pulled over by the cops. They find out that not only is she not the owner of my car, but she does not have legal permission to drive my car, nor is she on the insurance. This results in her accumulating a $800 ticket and she's demanding I help her fix it. I am livid. This is the straw that breaks the camel's back. The only reason I drove her to hell and back trying to fix the damn thing was so the ticket did not end up on my record or did not affect me in any way. I did not pay a dime of it and let Sam pay that one straight out of her pocket. Needless to say, I stopped giving her free rides and she ended up having to take the bus. After having just gotten back from my cruise, I find out that she started getting rides from another person who promptly told her to F off after she tried to criticize the way she drives. Although the clinic's reason was that she was focused only on work instead of trying to advance in her career, Sam has since moved apartments for what I can assume was the constant problems she caused and just generally creating a bad work environment. Guys, what would you have done if you were in OP situation, lent the car to that awful coworker and then get a huge traffic fine because that woman is too stupid to stop at a stop sign? Let us know in the comments. And the next one is titled "Coworker does whatever she wants and claims racism if told no." So this is possibly a crossover with Tales from Retail, but I think it belongs here better. Please let me know if that is not the case. About 5 years ago, I started working at a store that sold designer items for discounted price, pretty much what other stores could not sell. It was in a predominantly Armenian area, so a great many of my co-workers were Russian or Armenian. Most of them were great and wonderful people, and then there is G. G had a bad habit of constantly complaining, not just to managers but in front of the guests. She would take her time cleaning her register or scanning jewelry in the jewelry department, so she would not have to help the guests in line but would immediately ring up a friend, letting them skip the line if she saw them. She also would make racist remarks about Hispanics. I happen to be part Mexican, so that made me annoyed. Being lazy and messy while Armenians are the best. She also had a habit of complaining about where she was working during her shifts. She would complain about working on register so she could work on the sales floor. She would complain about being on the sales floor so she could be on register. G once decided she did not want to work the junior and dresses department, which was half of the first floor, and went upstairs to work on my department, which was children and toys. The problem with that was the children's department could be done in the 4 hours I was scheduled, while the junior and dresses needed at least 8 hours of work. I was also scheduled at the end of the night, while G was there since the afternoon and never told the manager she wanted to trade departments. So I had half the time to try and get the work done. I did not know she had done the switch either, so my manager had no idea what to do. Anytime we tried to complain to management, G would say we were being racist against her. One of the head cashiers was even written up for trying to complain about G not working. At one point, a supervisor had told G and another associate to help me with a quick recovery of the home department since I had spent nearly all of my shift on register. G waited until the supervisor left and told me, and I quote, "I do not want to do that because I don't want to get dirty." I told the supervisor exactly what happened and was said so he would know that she did not help at all, and she was fired. And Ripe Stars, please feel free to let us know in the comments if you have ever had an awful coworker like the one in the story. Entitled "Coworker tells me to get your stuff together" when I told her I had a panic attack. The cast is EC entitled "Coworker", M my manager/friend, me for me. Now, here's some background for you guys. I work in retail and yesterday I originally had it requested off because of a doctor's appointment. I told them I could work night because I did not think anything was going to happen. And my appointment was at 10:15 AM. I get to the orthopedic because I have a cyst in my right wrist. I decided I was going to drain it. Well, while I was in the waiting room, I was already having a panic attack because I thought it was going to be awful. I finally calmed down and went into the doctor's room. He decided he was going to drain it then and there, so of course here comes the second panic attack. I get it drained and he tells me I cannot go to work for 24 hours so it can give it time to rest. He gives me a doctor's note to give to work and all that fun stuff. Plus, I am in so much pain I cannot move it without it hurting. I had my fiancée text the assistant manager of my phone to tell her I cannot come in and I have a doctor's note. She has a fit, she calls around and so far they cannot get anyone to cover. She wanted to call the district manager and complain to her I called out for a medical reason. So I go up to drop off my doctor's note so they could not say anything. I am standing in our shop now talking to the other manager that I am very close with. The other sales associate comes and asks what happened and I tell her. Then I was telling my manager, because she has anxiety, bipolar and ADHD, what happened about my panic attacks and how I was crying in the waiting room before I was even in the room. The sales associate turns around and I have to repeat it to her. EC:
"Girl, get your shit together."
Me looks at her and she is beyond mad.
"She's a little ball of anxiety, she cannot help it."
And then hugs me. EC:
"Well, the store manager wants me to toughen her up, because she's too soft."
Me: I have tried for years and so has my family. It is who I am to be soft. I physically and mentally cannot stand up for myself because I start to panic. The sales associate rolls her eyes and walked away while my manager, dad and fiancé checked to make sure I was okay. I don't like being mean and I don't care what job I am in, it is not happening. Recap: sales associate told me to get my stuff together over my panic attacks and my manager got mad over it. Guys, I'm curious, do you have any people in your life that are also super afraid of going to the doctor or maybe even the dentist? Let us know in the comments. And with that, we have reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's content, and if you did, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel to join our amazing community. Furthermore, don't forget to go to r/ripe stories on Reddit to post your own stories if you want me to read them out in a video. I hope you have a fantastic day and I see you again tomorrow.